Whoa, my microphone is way too low down. What the fuck is this shit? Hey guys, CDTV Productions here, and today in Best Verses we will be looking at Joyner Lucas. I've been meaning to do this one for a long time. It was just difficult to narrow it down to a few choices, especially when Joyner is one of my favourite rappers. But now I feel like I've got a good list ready. So with that being said, this is CDTV Productions. You can follow my social media accounts under that name, and let's look at Joyner Lucas's Best Verses.
With 7 heaters on me, and then she fucking cheated on me. Drinking with her friends and then wanna leave the party. Got drunk and had sex, I ain't even see it coming. Then we find out she was pregnant and she keeping secrets from me.
Here we have one of the rawest and most emotional verses from Joyner. The song kicks off with 2 verses of Joyner just berating what we assume to be his son, saying that he wishes his son was never born and that he doesn't want to be a part of his life, with some really harsh lines. It's really brutal and taps into a dark subject that some people might actually relate to, whether they express it or not. But in the 3rd verse, he reveals why he actually feels this way. He says that he initially wanted to be a father and was looking forward to having a son, but the twist is that he found out his son actually wasn't his.
Then I felt my fucking heart cave in. The baby not mine, the paternity test came in and the love is gone.
This explains his anger towards his son throughout the track, as his son acts as a constant reminder that his wife or girlfriend cheated on him. It's a fictional story, but it's definitely possible that it's fueled by his real life experiences. As he revealed in the song Forever, he wasn't happy initially when his son was born, and he may have injected some of that into this song. Speaking of that song,
I was the first thing that you opened your eyes to, and the last one that you said goodnight to. I went home and cried to, and I bawled my eyes out and then watched you. Glad I got you, that's a blatant fact. And every negative thing I said, I swear I take it back.
so like I just said, we can assume that this track is all true as opposed to Happy Birthday. On this song, Joyner talks to his son about how he wasn't happy at first when he found out he was going to be a dad, like we said. It's delivered in quite a soft tone over a beat that for the most part doesn't even have any drums during the verses. And he even talks about crying at his son's baby shower because he just didn't feel like he was ready to be a father. However, the 4th verse makes sure this story has a happy ending. Fuck off, Hobson. As Joyner talks about how regretful he is of those feelings, and that he's grown to love his son more than anything else in the world, which could be seen on his Instagram before he deleted all his posts. You could really see how close he was to his son on there. This is an honest and heartfelt song, and it's great that it ends with Joyner just being thankful for his son.
All of my teachers said rapping is easy, but being successful is harder than I knew when I was just 9. I said, well, I'm gonna try. She looked back at me and stared, do what you can. I said, well, what if I fail? She said, just do it again.
Moving away from his more emotional verses for a second, this verse is just really intense and energetic. The whole concept of the song is Joyner questioning what he's gonna do with his life if rapping doesn't work out for him, wondering if he'll have to even sell drugs to get by. The way the beat breaks down during this 3rd verse is amazing. It adds even more to the intensity of the verse, and Joyner makes sure to match this with his tone of voice. I also love how his flow really builds up as the verse goes on, really picking up towards the last few lines. It's so great, and I love the passion behind it.
Broke 'em, snitching. The streets is cattle killing cats revealing. Half 'em killing, half 'em dealing. Strapped them killing cats and spilling black killers. They trapped instead of cops is after niggas trapped in prison cause these bastards chilling. That's a bad decision.
I just thought this verse had nice bits of wordplay, and it's a cool idea for a song as a whole. Basically, the idea is Joyner's friends throw different words at him, and Joyner expands on these words, or just takes them and goes on a rapping tangent focusing on those words. Pretty much a word association game in the form of a rap song. It's a very cool idea, and he executes it really well, even managing to throw his thoughts about politics in there. It's nice to see how he takes these ideas and runs with them, and that's what he really does on here.
A homeless man walks by, sees a wallet, opens his eyes and then grabs it, opens to check what's inside, and to his surprise it's money, a couple dollars, 100 bills with some writing, a number written in red. If he had a phone he would call, but he doesn't.
Like almost every Joyner song, this one has an inventive concept, essentially chronicling the journey of a single $100 bill, showing all the different types of people and activities that just a single note can pass through. As with a lot of Joyner songs, the last verse is where it takes a bit of a tragic turn. It starts off pretty good as a homeless man finds the $100 bill and gets excited at the thought of all the stuff he could buy with it, food, clothes, all that kind of stuff. However, unfortunately, the homeless man goes to the exact same store which this specific $100 bill was stolen from, and the bill is easy to identify because it's got a phone number written on it in red marker, and the phone number that's written on it is the name of Joyner's mixtape, so I thought that was really a really cool little bit of promotion in there as well. This is just expertly set up earlier in the song, and the payoff is that this innocent homeless man either gets killed or arrested because people thought he robbed the store due to that $100 bill. The song is a clinic in storytelling from start to finish.
Living in the projects and we all thugs. Now they searching through my pockets, want to treat me like a hostage, trying to get us on my conscience like a broad does. If they catch me looking wrong, I'm a rebel though. If I got my hoodie on, I'm a criminal.
This is up there with the hardest hitting verses that Joyner has written. This was fueled by his outrage and anger at the repeated cases of innocent black men being killed in America, and he handles the whole situation in a really realistic way. Obviously, this is something that I can never fully relate to, as you can probably tell by my voice, or if you've seen me, I'm neither black nor American. But I think that's what makes songs like these important. It spreads that message worldwide, even to people who can't relate. Woo! There's some brutally honest lyrics here as well, such as Joyner saying, "If I got my hoodie up, then I'm a criminal. If I got my hands up, that means I probably got a weapon." And it's sad to hear stuff like that because it really does relate to some real life events, like it's not based off of fiction. It's a very real verse, but it's definitely one that's important too. Also, I might be wrong here, but I believe it was uploaded to YouTube under the title Dear America, just so you know.
Questions, no more answers. No more homework with my daughter, no more second chances. No more baby in my belly, sad to say we died. All because you choose to drink and drive. Why?
This is another emotional storytelling song by Joyner, where he focuses on 3 people that get involved with car accidents, talking about a different person in each verse. The first one was great, but I feel like the child who got hit by a car, calling the driver of the car a stupid bitch, really kind of broke my immersion with the song for a second.
No more kisses from my daddy, cause I left and died. All because this stupid bitch wanted to text and drive.
So I instead chose the second verse for this list. It's genuinely heartbreaking. It's told from the perspective of a married pregnant woman who died in a car crash after being driven home by a drunk friend. Joyner starts off by painting a picture of the crash scene, then details all the stuff that this woman is going to lose out on now that she isn't alive anymore. It's incredibly sad, and again, really relates to real world issues such as drink driving, making it all the more chilling. It's an incredibly touching song, and I just highly recommend this one.
Look, I really feel lost without you. I hate the fact you think the world is better off without you. And my mind's spinning. This is the line finish. Truth is I don't care how you feel about my feelings, and I'd be lying to you if I told you a fine listen. I know that you can hear me. All I need is like 5 minutes. I just want to reach inside the casket and pull you out.
And of course, I had to include this song on this list. It's another one that is so incredibly sad, and this one really hit me when I first heard it. The first verse is told from the perspective of a suicidal person who, by the end of that verse, takes their own life. Joyner, being the rapper that he is though, didn't leave it there, and in the second verse, he switches it around to look at how this suicide affects the family and friends close to the person that died. Joyner always likes to look at multiple angles when it comes to complex issues like this, and I think he handled this one really well. He raps from the perspective of someone really close to the suicide victim, talking about how much he misses him, and even delves into his frustration at his friend taking his own life. It's a sensitive subject, but I like the way that Joyner tackles it, and his ability to put himself in someone else's shoes is incredible. Great verse, and just a great song as a whole. Well guys, that is going to be it for the video today. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you guys did enjoy this one. So let me know if you agree with my list, if you don't agree with it, and what your list of Joyner's best verses looks like down in the comments below. Like I said, Joyner is one of my favourite rappers, so this was kind of a difficult list to compile, but I think I really found the ones that I think are his strongest ones. So yeah. Thank you so much for watching guys, leave a like if you did enjoy, subscribe if you want to see more videos like this one and you haven't already, and I will see you all in the next video. This is CDTV Productions, signing out.